Hi everyone, welcome to Selective Preparation Power Thinking Skills Test 21. 10 questions in this video. Let's get started. So this first question, we were drawing some conclusions. So in medical terms, the placebo effect is when an improvement in symptoms is observed despite using treatments which supposedly have no impact. So basically, we have two groups. So we have the antibiotic group, which is the real medicine, and the placebo group, who get like a fake medicine. Usually it's a pill that is filled with sugar or something that has no impact on the body, and they get it so that we can compare people who get the medicine and who don't. Okay, but we still keep the act of eating the medicine the same. So Logan conducts an experiment where he measures the effectiveness, and however, Laura believes that the result indicates that antibiotics to be more effective treatment than the placebo. How could this be? So you can see that the antibiotic group, if you combine it together, then the recovery rate here will be 20%, right? And 60%. So how many people are there all together? There are 300 here. So 400, right? 100 plus 300 and 400 here. Right? So if we find how many, 20%, we have 20 recovered and 180, right? So that is a total of 200 over 400, right? Recovery rate. That is for the antibiotic versus 90 plus 70, which is 160 over 400, which is the placebo. Do you see how the antibiotic has a lot more, right? So that's why Laura can conclude that the recovery rate for the antibiotic is a lot higher. So C is the answer. Number 2, across the world there are many cuisines. They have a different affinity or for varying flavors and ingredients. For example, in East Asia, they use spices and herbs. And because of this, when a new cuisine is brought to a foreign market, it must be heavily adapted to appeal to local tastes. Otherwise, many people will not like the food. So this is the main conclusion, right? That when a new cuisine is brought to a foreign market, it must be heavily adapted or else people won't like it. So what would weaken this conclusion? Well, if we look at A, there are many foods that have been sold overseas without being adapted very successfully. That is the best one, okay? Many foods suggest that there are more than one, right? They have been sold very successfully overseas without being adapted. That contradicts this argument that it must be adapted to appeal to people. And if you look at A, it's not the case. Number 3, what is the underlying assumption? So we have the tomato production had a big decline in this year. It used to be 280 tons and now it's only 70 tons. But then in 1986, this rule was introduced where all rabbits were removed from farms, and then 2 weeks later, suddenly it reaches almost 300 tons. So they have tried to plant this argument or assumption in our heads that the rabbits are the reason that the tomato production went down, right? That's the only thing that they put forward. It could have been have been something else, right? But here they have specifically mentioned these rabbits and made this correlation. So that's why D is the answer. Okay, 4. So we know that adult tickets cost $8 and children tickets cost $3, right? We paid a total of $145 for 35 people. How many children were there? What I'm going to do is find the two extremes. If all 35 people were adults, right? If all 35 people were adults, there'll be 35 times 8, right? 40, 3 8s are 24, 28. So if all of them were adults, the maximum we can get is 280. If all of them are children, 35 times 3, 15, 105. So which end does 145 sit close to? Closer to this end, right? Which means that we need more children because we don't want it to go too big, right? So we want more children. So find the one with the most children, which is option B, 27 children, right? So if we have children and adults, 27 children, how many adults would there be? 35 minus 27 gives us 8. So here we have 8 times 8. Here we have 27 times 3. 8 8s are 64. 27 times 3, 21, 6, 8. 81 and 64. Plus it together and you get 145, which is what we want. So that's why B is the answer. Okay, so instead of just kind of randomly guessing this, it's much better to kind of find these extremes, find the limits, find what we know, and then go from there. 5. Okay, so in Australia, we are home to many highly unique and dangerous fauna and flora. Therefore, it is important to educate children or students in schools about the necessity about being careful, right? In addition, it might be important to teach some basic first aid in case some students get a fatal sting or bite. So what would strengthen this conclusion? The answer is A, right? The first minutes after sting or bite is very important in deciding whether a victim can be saved. If it is very important for the first minutes, then we can agree that it is better for everyone to learn some kind of basic first aid. It's very important too, okay, so that they know what to do. So this links to here. So A best backs up this claim. Finding the flaw in this argument. Okay, so in the Royal State Zoo, it is a popular tourist attraction. Recently, in the last month, there's been a major decline in the number of visitors. Because of this, the zoo has decided to cut children ticket prices down by 50% and the adults ticket down by 30%. And by doing so, visitors will be more inclined to visit the zoo as tickets are now more expensive. So the main issue here is this word expensive, right? We have decided to cut the prices by 50 and by 30. The prices should be going down. So why did we write expensive? That is the error. A is the answer. Okay. The reason why the visitors want to go is because the prices are down, not because they are up. Number 7. So Hyperloop. Hyperloop is an experimental transportation concept that combines the speed of aircraft with the convenience of rail travel. The concept revolves around a train-like carriage moving through a tunnel, which is a vacuum, so it can go very high speed. Some think that hyperloops will soon be starting construction because of their speed and advantages. So it's quite positive, right? We're saying that it's good, it is fast, and it has other advantages. What would weaken this conclusion? The answer is A. Hyperloops have many challenges distinct from both rail and air travel that will need a lot of time to be solved. So this actually contradicts this bit here, that there will be around very soon. If there are lots of things that need to be solved, a lot of challenges, then it's very unlikely that it will be very soon. So A is the answer. Number 8. So Jamie was told that in order to try out for the badminton team, he needs to improve his hand-eye coordination and fitness, otherwise he will not stand a chance. If Jamie improves his hand-eye coordination, then his reaction time will also improve. If Jamie improves his fitness, then his stamina is increased. So we want to find which one is impossible. Let's go through them. A says, Jamie's reaction time improves and his stamina increases, but it doesn't make the badminton team. So A is incorrect because the box doesn't guarantee, right, that if he has the two, he will definitely make the team. It just says if he doesn't have them, which he doesn't right now, he will have no chance. So we can't say A is impossible. B. James makes the school badminton time. His stamina increased and his reaction time improved. Now this is possible, right? We don't know about his badminton time. We also don't know about what his stamina increased and his reaction time improved will do. So B is out. C. James' reaction time did not improve and he made the school badminton team. Now this is the correct one. It is impossible for him to do this, okay? Because remember, he does not stand a chance if he doesn't improve his hand-eye coordination and fitness, right? And if he improved his hand-eye coordination, the reaction time would improve naturally. So that's why C is the answer. As per usual, you can read through the solutions if you'd like more information. 9. Claw machines have often been a point of contention, which means debate, right? Because it's kind of limit the access to gambling. So they're pre-programmed usually to fail to pick up stuff on and only succeed somewhat regularly. And they basically are saying that it's kind of like gambling. Therefore, these people argue that claw machines should also be restricted to adults only, much like gambling. What would strengthen this conclusion? What would support the fact that this is in fact like gambling, so adults should only have access to it? The answer is B. Claw machines have been shown to have the same detrimental effects on developing brains as gambling. First of all, we talk about gambling, right, which is matching up here. Restricted, that is taking something away from someone. Why? Because of these bad detrimental effects. And who are we restricting it from? Developing brains who are not adults. So B is the best answer. And the last one, okay, so last month, 20% of the water in our fish pond had evaporated. We refilled it by adding 2 ladles of water. If each ladle holds 2.4 liters, what is the capacity? Okay, so 20% of the pond evaporated, and to fill it back up all the way, we needed to put back the 20%. 20% is 2 ladles. 1 ladle was 2.4. So 20% must be 2 times 2.4, which is 4.8 liters. 20% is 4.8 liters. So 100%, the original volume, you times by 5. 4.8 times 5, 40, 24. 24 liters. So the answer is A. Okay. So key points to this test. I'm going to touch on that guess and check question. Okay, the money question. Try and figure out the limits, okay, of your numbers. In other words, the range, okay? Does your answer make more sense to be on the bigger side or the smaller side? From there, you can pick a educated answer option and work it out. Alright, that's it today. Hope you guys enjoyed that video and I will see you in the next one.